Hey guys, today we're going to do a sequence that I designed for my friend Jenna, who does a lot of weightlifting. So this sequence is targeted to open up the shoulders both through the front and the back, and help with the mobility in our hips, and stretch out the legs as well from deadlift, squats, all those sorts of things. So ideally, if you have blocks, grab 2 blocks. You may need them, you may not. Or 2 books roughly the same size will do, and a yoga strap or a towel, or I'm using my Muay Thai wrap, so anything that you could use as a yoga strap. Okay, and then when you're ready to get started, find a comfortable seat, close your eyes, just take a few moments here to connect with yourself. Connect with your body, your mind, and your breath. Accepting wherever you are today, however you feel. Accepting it without judgment, without expectation. Just bringing your attention and awareness to the present moment. Take your hands together in front of your heart center and bow your head to your heart. Namaste. Okay, just going to turn this off so the audio will be a bit better. Let's start on our backs. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and then thread your hands through. Grab your left hamstring or your left shin. You want to try and keep your shoulders relaxed on the floor. Gentle pulling of the knees towards your chest, but sending your right knee away from you so you're feeling the stretch in your outer right hip. Find wherever you are in your pose. If you're feeling pretty open, you can pull towards you to deepen the stretch. Slightly arching action of the back to push the right knee away from you. Keep your head and shoulders relaxed on the mat. Okay, then take your left leg flat onto the mat and take your right leg up to the sky. Interlace your hands behind your right hamstring and pull your toes towards your face. Wrap your outer left thigh down so your hips are square on the mat. Your left leg is still active, reaching down across the mat. Your right leg is stretching towards you. If you're really open, you can pull your hamstring towards you, or you can just leave your arms relaxed, attempting to straighten your leg and pull your toes towards you. And bend your right knee, interlock your hands a couple of inches below your right kneecap, and then pull your right knee away, so out, down, and in, towards your right shoulder. Not too much compression in the ribcage. You really want to pull it to the side of your body, and then pull it down, and then pull it towards your shoulder. Left leg is still active. Both hips relaxed on the mat, both shoulders relaxed on the mat. Chin slightly tucked so your neck is long. And change, release. Take your left ankle onto your right knee. Thread your hands through. Push your left knee away from you this time. Some action in the arms, so you're gently pulling the knees towards you, but giving a resistance with your left leg, your left knee, to really get into the stretch. If you're feeling the stretch already just by holding your legs, then that's fine as well. But if you want more, you pull your legs towards you and you push your knee away from you. Shoulders relaxed on the mat. Chin slightly tucked so your neck is long. And then straighten your right leg out to the mat and stretch your left leg up. Interlock your hands behind your hamstrings, or if you're really open, you can walk your hands down to your calf and pull your leg towards your face. Go to your level, to where your body is at, where your body feels the stretch. and then pull your toes down. Outer right hip grounding down, so your hips are on the floor, shoulders on the mat, neck is long, relaxed. Bend your left leg, interlock your hands, the other grip this time, so the other thumb is on top. Pull your left knee towards your left shoulder, out, down, and then back in, trying to touch your left knee to your left shoulder. Continuously keep pulling, so you're constantly trying to pull deeper as opposed to pulling and releasing and pulling and releasing. You want to try and maintain that compression and stretch. And release, and then hug both knees into your chest and grab the outsides of your feet for happy baby pose. Pulling your knees down, taking your legs wide, so your knees are wide, shoulders relaxed on the floor. Giving some resistance between your hands and your feet. Opening up your hip area. So really good for those deep squats. Really good for your squat mobility. Okay. And then hug both knees into your chest and start to rock and roll and come all the way through to hands and knees. From here, we're just going to gently warm up the spine, doing cat-cow stretches. Inhale, sink the spine. Reach the chest forwards. Exhale, round. Pull your belly button in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sink your chest and then reach your chest forwards. Exhale, round your spine. Pull your navel in. Feel your core engage. Inhale one last time. Nice, long, controlled inhale. Equally long, controlled exhale. Tuck your toes under if they're not already tucked, and then push back to downward facing dog. So you can walk out your dog by bending your left knee, bending your right knee, stretching out either side. You can move your hips to the right and to the left, but don't collapse in the upper body. So you want to ground down, spread your fingers wide, and look at your first index finger knuckle and push down into the mat with your index finger knuckle, grounding that down. Active in your upper back. And a slight pulling away with the arms. So you're staying really engaged in the arms. And then look at your feet. Make sure they're hip width distance. Outer edges of the feet line up with the mat. So you're grounding down through the inner heel. And then push the mat away from you. Send your chest towards your thighs. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up. And then exhale, step it between your hands. Drop your left knee down. Inhale, come up, low lunge. So stay up high in your low lunge as opposed to collapsing down here. We want the pelvis to be nice and neutral. And then scissor the legs in. So you're pulling your right knee back and then you're pushing your hip forwards. So you feel the stretch across the hip flexors. It can be still quite intense from up here. The problem with coming down here is we tend to collapse and we're stretching other things in the inner hip. So staying here, scissoring the legs into the midline, pushing the left hip forwards, really opening up across the front of the left hip flexors. And then exhale, cactus your arms, squeeze through your shoulder blades. Imagine you want to bring your elbows back. Opening up across the front of the chest. Keep the action between the legs. Inhale, reach your arms up. Take your hands down to the mat and walk your right foot out to the right. You can take it as wide as you like, and then let your right knee drop out to the right. So we're targeting the inner groin area this time of the right side. If that feels good for you, you can come down on your blocks. Come down on your elbows. Or you can stay up on your hands. Wherever you are today, so long as you're feeling the stretch on the inner right thigh, that's okay. And then if you can, bend your left knee and then reach your right hand behind, taking a hold of your left foot, pulling your left heel towards your left butt cheek. Or you can grab your strap or towel, whatever you're working with. The problem with Muay Thai wraps is that they're really long. And wrap it around your foot. Take it, whatever you need. So long as you're feeling the quad stretch on the left thigh. Turn your chest up, whatever variation you're in, turn your chest up towards the sky. Turning from the torso. And then release, place your hands, push back, downward facing dog. One full inhale here, and then equally long exhale. Remembering your hands pushing down and your feet are grounding down. And then take your left leg up. Step the left leg forwards. Drop your right knee down. Inhale, rise. Second side, low lunge. Staying upright, remembering the scissoring action into the midline, pulling the left foot back. Pushing the right hip forwards, but your hips are still square. So we're not, one hip bone is not coming forwards, more forwards than the other. So pelvis is neutral in the center. Really opening up across the front of the right hip flexors. Inhale, lengthen through the side bodies, energize through the fingertips. Exhale, cactus, your arms, but squeeze through the shoulder blades. Imagine you're really trying to get your elbows behind your body to keep your shoulder blades down and away from your ears. So your trap muscles, the area over here, is nice and relaxed. Keep scissoring the knees, the legs into the midline. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, take your hands down to the mat. Walk your left foot out to the left this time. And allow your left knee to drop out to the side. For more, you can always push it down and open out across your chest. That intensifies it more. Or you can stay here or come down onto your elbows. If you're on your elbows, come back up to your hands. Place your right hand down to the mat and reach behind you with your left hand. Take a hold of your right foot and squeeze and pull your right foot towards your hip, towards your butt. And then turn your chest towards the sky. If you're using a strap, you can use your strap. Wherever your leg is, that's okay. Trying to get into the stretch in the quadriceps. And change. Place your hands and step back to downward facing dog. One long full inhale and an equally long exhale. And then as you inhale, lift your heels and slowly walk your feet to the front of the mat. Keeping your feet at hip width distance and just fold. Feel free to bend your knees here if your hamstrings aren't fully warmed up yet. Release the hands. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to flow a little bit, do some sun salutations. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, the flat back fold. Inhale, halfway. Lengthen your spine so you're reaching forwards. Exhale, place the hands. Jump back, plank pose. We're going to hold our plank pose. Just this first round, we're going to hold the plank. Set the shoulders away from the ears. Remember your shoulder blades. Remember the activation behind your shoulder blades. Squeeze your legs. Tuck your tailbone. And then shift your body weight forward so your shoulders are now in front of your wrists. And then exhale, bend your elbows. Lower all the way down to the mat. We're going to do some shoulder activation. So it's called wings up. So take your arms perpendicular, arms like a capital T. Forehead is down on the mat. Roll your shoulder blades down your back, and then thumbs are pointing up. Squeeze through the back and lift your arms up.
This exercise is really good to prevent the shoulder blades from winging. Really helps with the activation at the back to hold the scapula down. Exhale, release. Bring your arms into a cactus shape, and we're going to do the same thing. Roll your shoulder blades down and lift this time. Lift your chest, lift your arms. Keep your arms bent. Keep squeezing the elbows back, squeezing through the shoulder blades, and come down. This time we're going to lift our chest, arms, and legs, keeping the arms in cactus shape. Roll the shoulder blades down, squeeze through the back, lift the arms, lift the chest, lift the legs. Squeeze the legs together. So the legs are really active in this pose. They're squeezing together, reaching back. Chest is reaching up. Arms are reaching back and up. Inhale here. Exhale, come down. Place your hands beneath your shoulders and push back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. A couple of more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, place your hands, jump back, plank, lower down, chaturanga, and then lower all the way down to the floor. Untuck your toes, firm your legs together, coming to cobra pose. So treat your legs like a snake tail. Your snake tails, your legs are firm. Roll your shoulder blades away from your ear, push into your hands, rise, cobra. Peel the chest up, squeeze your glutes, and then down dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. One more round. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, place the hands. Jump back, plank to chaturanga. And then this time we're going to come to upward facing dog, or you can take cobra. Tops of the feet on the mat, pressing down, shoulders down and away from the ears, pushing through the arms, engaging through the abdomen. Exhale, lead with your hips, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step or jump. Woo, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, so we're getting the body warmed up. Come to the top of your mat with your feet together. Bring your arms over your head. And then exhale, bring your right arm underneath your left arm, coming for Garudasana, eagle pose. So your elbows are crossed, palms together if you can. If you're only about here, that's okay. So the back of the hands together, eventually trying to move to get your palms to touch. That's really too much, that's okay. You can keep trying here, or you can put your hands on opposite shoulders, but you don't get as much as of an opening. So thumbs towards your face, fingers towards the front. Sit down low as if you're sitting into a chair, and then raise your right leg above your left leg and cross your right foot behind your left calf muscle. And then sit your hips down, squeezing everything into the midline, hugging your legs like ropes. And then pull your elbows down. Everything is in the center line of the body. We're opening up the shoulders, opening up the hips, opening up the knees. Wherever you are in this posture is okay, but we want to sit down lower to help our foot behind our leg. Lean the upper body back for our balance. You might start to feel your glutes engage here, your abdomen engage here. Okay, we're gonna move. Keep the arms, unwrap the legs, don't let the right leg touch the floor, and step the right leg back to a high lunge. Keeping your legs, find your balance, hug the legs, squeeze the legs into the midline, just like we did with our low lunge. So both legs are active. The right leg is lifting up, and then we sit down into the front leg. Pelvis is still neutral. If there's a micro bend in your back knee, that's okay. You can stay here or choose to take your elbows up and stretch the front of your body, testing your balance. And back to center, release, bring your arms overhead. Then we're gonna come to warrior two. So your right heel spins down. The outer edge of your right foot is parallel to the mat. And then you just want to take your time here. Sit down into your warrior two, opening up your hips. So don't go beyond the point where you start to feel a sharp shooting pain, but you should feel a nice opening in the hips, but using your quads, using your leg muscles. Both legs are active. You're still squeezing your right leg straight. Body weight is going to the outer edge of your right foot. Grounding down through the four corners of your left foot. Make sure that your left knee is in line with your second toe. So you're not collapsing in. We want to use our glutes, our glute med, glute min, and squeeze so it's in line with the second toe. Inhale, reverse your warrior. You can look down to your right big toe, keeping the left leg bent, or you can look up to your left hand. Whatever's more comfortable for you. Looking down at your right toe, you get the stretch across the left side of the neck. I really hope you can hear me when I'm talking to the other side of the room. And then inhale, bring it over for side angle pose. Your left elbow on top of your left knee. Take your right arm up to the sky, or you can send your right arm to the front. So you're really stretching across the right side of the body. Scooping your left rib cage over and peeling from your right rib cage. So you're turning your chest to the sky using your body. Inhale, come back up, straighten your right leg. Give it a little bit quick release and then bend it nice and deep. Try and just get a little bit deeper to get more of a hip opening and then straighten your leg. Coming to triangle pose, this is where your blocks might be helpful, or you can also just rest your hand on your shin. Activate your quadricep muscles. Pull your left heel towards the back of the mat and send the top of the shin bone forward just a fraction of an inch. So there's almost like a micro bend. So all the muscles around the knee joint are engaged, active, and protecting the joint. Start to reach your left hand forwards. Come down, bring it to your shin, bring it to a block. Resting your hand on your block or your shin. And then turn. Same movement in the upper body, turning when we were in side angle with our elbow on our knee. So turning up, reaching the arm up, but turning with the body. You want to keep your wrist above your shoulder. We don't want to be pulling across like that. We keep the shoulder nice and relaxed. Keep the left leg muscles active. Inhale, come back up. Turn. I'm gonna turn around so I can face you. You want your feet pointing to the outer edges of your mat. Your feet are pretty wide. We're gonna come to goddess pose, which is a great hip opener. Inhale, bring your arms up, and then exhale, sit your hips down. As low as you can without collapsing. You want to try and keep your knees out, not collapsing in. So engaging the muscles around the pelvis. Hands to your heart. And then open out your arms, cactus arms, open out across the front of the chest. Squeeze through the back. Inhale here. Exhale, round your spine. Close it off. Now stretching through the back of your shoulders. Inhale. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Open up across the front. Exhale, round. Protract the shoulders. Inhale. Reach your arms up. Push back, downward facing dog. One long inhale and an equally long exhale. Stay active in the arms, stay active in the upper back. Ground down through your inner heels. And then inhale, take your right leg up really high. So don't worry about You can open up the hips and then bend your knee. Try to get your right hip stacked on top of your left hip. Your right knee is reaching up towards the ceiling, but your right toes are reaching over to the left side of the room. Keep pushing through your right shoulder and your left shoulder, staying square in the shoulders, and then start to draw circles with your knee. Go 5 in each direction. Keep breathing. And then come back to downward dog. Whew. Inhale, take your right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot forwards. Step your left foot forwards. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. So I definitely built up a sweat there. I hope you're sweating in the same way. We're gonna come to the second side. Bring your feet together, arms over your head sideways. Exhale, swing your left arm underneath your right arm. Sit down in your chair and cross your left leg over your right leg, hooking your left foot behind your right calf muscle, and then pull your elbows down. Sit your hips a little bit lower. Squeeze everything into the center line like ropes. Squeeze the legs together. Everything in the center line. Opening up 12 major joints in your body here. So you might feel the real big shoulder opening. You're also opening up your ankles, knees, and hips. Keep leaning your upper body back. So your body weight's more in your heels. Feel your right glute engage. Breathe here. And then release your left leg. Don't let it touch the floor and step it back. Keep the arms. High lunge, second side. Remember the hugging sensation into the midline. Actively reaching. Your left leg is active. Kind of lifting us up. Squeeze the legs into the midline, and then we sink a little bit lower into the right leg. If you're pulling your right heel towards you, towards the back of the mat, towards the center line, you should feel your right glute muscles really fire up. And then lift your elbows if you like, and stretch out your front. Testing your balance. Coming back to center, reaching your arms up, inhale. Exhale, open up to warrior two. So take your time. Outer edge of the left foot is parallel to the edge of the mat. Bending into the front knee. Go as deep as you like. Stay with your breath. And then go ahead, reverse your warrior. Take your left hand down to your left leg. Look towards your left toe or up to your right hand, whichever one feels better for you. But keep the bend in the right leg. Keep your right leg muscles working. Feel the stretch across the right side of the body. Inhale. Bring it back. Side angle pose. Right elbow on top of right knee. Check your knees above your ankle. And it's in line with your second toe. Left arm can reach up or it can reach to the front of the room. Stay with your breath. Stay with your body. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Straighten your leg. Inhale. Exhale, sink down just a little bit deeper. See if you can go a little bit deeper. See if you can find more opening in your hips. Whew, and then release. Inhale. Okay, triangle pose. Firm your quadricep muscles. Pull the heel back so your hamstrings engaged, and then micro bend your knee. So hopefully you feel all the muscles around the joint engaged, and then start to reach your right arm forwards and come down. Right hand to the right shin, or right hand to your block. Go to where your body feels. And then you're turning your chest up, staying active in the legs, both legs active. Don't forget about your foundation. And then you can turn and twist your upper body up towards the sky, turning from your core, turning from your torso. Inhale, come back up. This time, turn your feet in so they're parallel to each other. Your wrists are above your ankles. Your feet are slightly turned in. So if you look at the outer edges of your feet, they're parallel to the edges of your mat. Inhale, stretch your body up. Exhale, bend your upper body down from the lower spine towards the floor. Now, you can grab your ankles. If you cannot grab your ankles, place your hands on the floor in front of you. Roll your body forwards. Stretch your upper body down towards the floor. Chin slightly away from the chest, so we're not collapsing and looking behind. We get so much of a rounding, so we want a neutral spine, chins away from the chest, looking forwards, roll forwards, body weight in the toes. Keep your legs locked, keep your quadricep muscles engaged here. Legs stretching, and then your hips stretching, and then your total spine is stretching from the coccyx to the neck. Breathe here. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, turn to face the front and push back to downward facing dog. Remember your hands, remember your arms, remember your shoulder blades. Ground down through your inner heels. And then lift your left leg up high into the sky. Open up your hips, bend your knee. Stay active in your shoulders. Don't collapse in your shoulders. Remember your shoulder blades. And then draw 5 circles with your knee each side. Going the other way. Stay with your breath. Downward dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, and step the left foot forwards. Step the right foot forwards. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Take your feet hip width distance and grab the other elbows from before. Allow your body to hang, your head to hang. And then take your hands to the floor. Take your right hand across to your left ankle and turn and fold over towards the left side. And release. Come over to the other side. Left hand to the right ankle. Turn and fold over to this side. Back to center. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, coming to some balancing poses. This is where your strap's going to be handy. So just make sure that it's ready to use. I might have to fold this several times. Actually, I'm going to use. Okay. So whatever it is you have, your towel, your strap, your band, nothing, that's still okay. Inhale, bend your right knee. Come into stork pose. Feel your lower abdominal muscles engage, easing up from the hip flexors. We don't want the hip flexor to take all the strain of this. We can use our core, use our glutes to help carry the weight of the leg. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, but with a strap. So you want to put your strap just below the toes and straighten your leg. Hold it with the, if it's your right leg, hold your strap with your right arm. I'm going to come back so you can see. Don't worry about where you are, so long as you're feeling the stretch. So you want your toes to be pulling towards you. Staying with your hand on your hip, you can take your arm out to help you balance. Pushing through your heel, pulling your toes towards you. Really stretch your leg, and then take it out to the side. If you're not using a strap, you have the option of grabbing the outside of your foot or grabbing your big toe. Coming back to center and release. And then step your right leg back, same leg. This is where your blocks might be handy, coming to pyramid pose. So your right foot is at a 45-degree angle. It's about a 1 meter stance. You hug the legs into the midline, so your right hip squares off to the front. Remember the engagement from triangle. So your quadriceps are engaged. You're pulling your heel back. So your hamstrings are engaged. And then you micro bend the knee. And then with a straight spine, you fold as you exhale. Now is where your blocks come in handy. So you can take one block either side. If you've only got one block, you can take it to the front, but you want to keep your shoulders away from your ears so we're not rounding down like that. Lengthening, reaching the chest forwards. Keep pulling the left leg back and sending the right hip forwards. Stay active in your legs. Go to the depth that feels good for you. So if you can fold a little bit more and it feels good, there's no pulling, there's no sharp pain, then go for it. You don't need the blocks, go for it. You can walk your hands back. I'm gonna stay on my blocks. Lengthening in the spine, so we're really hinging at the hips. And then take your blocks, if you're using your blocks, take them out in front of your foot. And then bend your front knee, and we're gonna come to standing splits. So if you need your blocks here, keep your blocks. If you don't, take your hands to the mat. Reach your right leg up. Squeeze through your posterior chain, your glutes, your hammies. Squeeze through your left obliques to fold over your left leg more. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, keep the shoulders relaxed. Breathe here, just 2 more breaths. Stay with it. Bend your left knee, step your right knee back, step your right foot back, drop your right knee down. Inhale, rise for low lunge. A nice release for your left leg, stretching out your right hip flexor. And take your hands to a mat and push back, downward facing dog. Notice the difference between your legs now. Outer edges of the feet. Notice, parallel to the edge of the mat. Push the mat down, away from you. Push your chest towards your legs. Inhale, lift your heels. Step your right foot forwards. Step your left foot forwards. Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, shift the weight into your right leg. Bend your left knee. I'm going to step back so you can see. Feel the engagement to help carry the weight of your leg. Get your strap, towel, whatever it is you're using. Put it on the toe pad of your foot. Keep your balance. And then straighten out your leg. You might notice one leg is different from the other. That's totally natural. Once you've found your stability, find your drishti, your gaze point. One point, preferably, that doesn't move. Help you balance. Push your heel out away from you. Pull your toes towards you. Ground down through the 4 corners of your foot. Root your foot down. And then take your leg out to the side if you want. So we're stretching and using our stabilization muscles. Really good for when you're loading with weights. Bring it back to the center and release. Okay, keep your blocks nearby. Step your left leg back. Whoops. Step your left leg back 3 meters, 3 feet, about 1 meter. Engage your front leg. Coming to pyramid pose. Quadriceps engaged, micro bend in the knee. All the muscles are active. Hugging the legs into the midline. Inhale, lengthen. Fold as you exhale with a straight spine. Taking your blocks if you're using them. Keep pulling your right leg back as if you're trying to pull it back into its socket. You might feel your hips moving because we're trying to get the hips square. Folding from the hips if you can. Lengthening the hamstrings, but keeping the muscles engaged. Shoulders relaxed. Spine straight. Take your blocks if you're using them. Coming to standing splits, bend your right knee and then shift your weight forwards. Your left leg should just float up. Shoulders relaxed. Squeeze your right leg straight. Lift your left leg up, using your glutes. So both glutes are actually firing here. And then you squeeze through your abdominal muscles to fold over your right leg. Keep reaching your left leg up. 2 more breaths. Shoulders relaxed. Bend the front knee. Beautiful job. Step the left leg back. Drop the left knee down. Inhale, rise for a low lunge. Little release for the right leg this time. Stretching the left hip flexors. Downward dog. Check your hands, ground down through your index finger knuckle. Index fingers roughly pointing forwards. Index fingers are parallel. And then send your chest back. Keep your upper back engaged. And then lift your heels, step your left foot forwards, step your right foot forwards. Take your feet as wide as the mat with your toes wider than your hips. Blocks might be useful here as well. Coming to Malasana, yogi squat pose, squatting down. You can help support yourself with your elbows inside your knees. If this is too much for you, you can sit on a block or two, depending, or your books, depending on the size. And we are going to hold this pose for a little bit. So you might find that once you start to open up, you might be able to remove a block, remove all blocks. If you're up here, that's also okay. Wherever you are, trying to open up, gain better range of movement in your hips. So if you do weightlifting, this is really good to get deeper for your deadlift, deeper in your squats. It's really good hip mobility. Okay, and then take your right arm out to the right, and then just reach your left arm up. If you want, you have the option to bind here, or you can just stretch your arms. Come back down. You're gonna go to the other side.
Stretch your left arm out to the left. Your tricep muscles pushing against the inside of your knee. Reach your right arm up. Come back to center. And push your hands into the floor. Straighten your legs, release. Come back, hands and knees, and then come to a child's pose. Your big toes touch, knees as wide as the mat. And just let your body fold down, completely relax, just for a moment. Forehead to the mat, upper body sinking down between your legs. And then come back to hands and knees. Come towards the back of your mat because we're going to stretch our arms out for puppy pose. Keep your hips above your knees and you just want to walk your hands forwards. You're melting your heart between your arms. Really good for opening up the shoulders. You might feel as well the outer edges of your shoulders, your lats, insertion points. Gently releasing. Coming to pigeon pose, just bring your right knee close to your right wrist. So you can keep your right heel close to your pelvis. If you're a little bit more open, you can walk it out. We're targeting the right outer hip area. We want to keep the hips square, so we're not tilting over to one side. This is usually when the stretch is too much. You don't want any pain in your knee, so you keep your foot close to your pelvis. Square off your hips. And if it's comfortable for you, you can come down and fold. Slowly walk your hands back. Downward dog. One full breath. And then bring your left leg forwards, left side pigeon. Left knee close to your left wrist. And then bring your left heel close to your pelvis, as close as you like. Making sure that your left knee is comfortable. Square your hips. So that might mean sort of grounding down the outer right thigh down to the mat. Staying up here. If that's comfortable for you, you can fold if you like. Slowly walk your hands back up. Push back to downward facing dog. This time take your feet nice and wide, take your hands nice and wide. Coming to monster dog. Bend your knees, cross your ankles to make your way onto your back.
Coming to a spinal twist. Cross your right leg over your left, or you can keep your knees together. We're going to do 2 different variations, 2 rounds of spinal twists. So cross your right leg over, take your variation, and then drop your knees over to the left. Keeping your right shoulder close to the floor, and then looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Change the grip of your legs. You drop your knees over to the right this time. You can shift your hips over to the left before dropping your knees. Keep your left shoulder close to the mat, looking over your left shoulder. Come back to center. Take your knees out as wide as the mat. Drop both knees over to the left. And then have a look. You want to line up right nipple, right hip, and right knee in one straight line. If that's a really intense stretch for you already, you can stay right there, or you can take your left foot on top of your right knee. Opening up. It's a nice twist, but also opening up a different part of the hip. And change. Come to the second side. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Drop your knees over to the right, and then check your alignment. So for some people, we need to walk our foot more over to one side, and then take your right ankle across your left knee. And release, hug both knees into your chest. Take happy baby once again. Opening up the hips, pulling the knees down. Hug your knees into your chest. Bring your forehead to your knees. Wrap yourself up into a ball. Give yourself a hug. And come back up. It is time for Shavasana. So you can take your standard Shavasana if you like. One Shavasana to really open up across the front. Supported Shavasana that I like. It opens up across the front of the chest. I'll probably do it this way. I like to put this block underneath my shoulder blades. And then lie with my arms open. You can leave your head relaxed here. If it's not comfortable for you, you can take a block underneath your head as well. And you can feel free to adjust the height of your block. Or you can get a cushion. And completely relaxing and letting go here. You could lie for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however you like. I'm going to stop the video there. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I do hope you take your Shavasana. They are really important, and that variation does feel really good on the shoulders. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please send some gratitude towards yourself as well. Namaste.